What's going on YouTube? Fesify Media. So guys, footballers in the UK are paid some of the most ridiculous wages and make up for a lot of the London's wealth. With poverty on the rise as well, a lot of them do get targeted in the British capital. So let's get into some examples of what happened. We'll explain the stories behind them. Harry Kane is a professional footballer for Tottenham Hotspurs and he was targeted for his Range Rover, which cost just over 100k. It's said that a gang are believed to have targeted the vehicle after being filmed driving past it several times. They sped off with it from outside the upmarket address in Chingford, East London, where Harry Kane lives. CCTV would show a car driving past Kane's luxury motor several times in the last month it happened. There was obviously plotting and planning their attack. It said the thieves then used an electronic device to open it before stealing the car from outside the address in Chingford, East London. There isn't no footage available on the internet of Harry Kane's one being taken, but these can be taken so quick. An example is this Range Rover being taken in less than a minute with the keyless starter. The source close to the 200k a week striker said Harry feels he's been targeted by a gang who focus on footballers. The way the robbery played out didn't feel like a coincidence. A Metropolitan Police spokesman said in a statement on Sunday the 25th of October, police received a report of a theft of a vehicle from outside a residential property in the Chingford area. Officers contacted the victim and carried out inquiries. No suspects were identified. The investigation has now been closed, and if any further investigative or evidential opportunities are established, this will be reviewed. It said that Harry Kane had got hold of CCTV film of the theft, but the insider added the footage shows a car driving past his motor a number of times. They were clearly doing a race. The road is in an upmarket residential area, so it's not hard to see why Harry and those around him think his car had been targeted. The police told Harry there's basically little chance of them recovering his motor because of how sophisticated these thieves are. Next up, we have Mesut Ozil, who back in July 2019, Ozil and his Arsenal teammate were attacked at knife point by two men on moped.
Taking on carjackers with his bare hands whilst they were armed with weapons, Sead Kolasinac fought off two men after he and teammate Mesut Ozil were targeted in North London. In the footage, the Arsenal fullback Kolasinac can be seen jumping out of a vehicle to confront the masked aggressors. They pulled alongside the car on a moped before chasing them off. After the attack, the footballers fled to a nearby restaurant.
Despite the fact he was unarmed, his Arsenal teammate, and facing the prospect of getting stabbed, the Bosnia international showed no fear in confronting the attackers rather than submitting to their demand. Fortunately, the Gunners pair escaped without any physical harm, but it seems that the attempted robbery was far from an isolated incident. Nearly 2 years later, the two men who attacked Ozil and his teammate were given lengthy prison sentences. Ashley on the left hand side of this photo and Jordan on the right hand side of this photo have pleaded guilty to trying to steal watches from the Premier League players. The watches they were trying to steal were said to be worth 200,000. Smith was jailed for 10 years at Crown Court and ordered to pay £181 victim surcharge. It was said in court that the robbers were using a stolen moped and were dressed in helmets and dark clothing, trying to conceal their identities. The weapons were described as 10 to 12 inch long screwdrivers and a small instrument about 6 inches long. The players managed to flee, but stones thrown at the vehicle caused significant damage. Ashley Smith, the main perpetrator in this attack, was said to have numerous other convictions for robbery. It caught up to him in prison. I'm going to put the full clip on my Instagram. I'll play you guys the audio track because it's graphic. But someone he had robbed's friend caught up with him in prison and took to him.
Robbing my f***ing car. You should be robbing my fucking pals.
It wasn't me.
Robbing my pals, mum.
It wasn't me.
Robbing my pals.
It wasn't me.
You took my pals, mum. You little you're like you scumbag. You scumbag, little thieving.
It wasn't me.
Keep your noise down now.
It wasn't me.
Get it.
It wasn't me.
You little you're lucky not open your
It wasn't me
You
though.
little tramp.
I swear to God.
Yeah?
I can't see.
Yeah?
It
You're lucky
wasn't.
not stab you in the eye, you little.
Next up, we have the former Liverpool player Jordan Ibe, who had his expensive watch stolen at knife point after his car was rammed. The Bournemouth midfielder, 20, had his car hit by another vehicle in Surrey rail station in southeast London, according to The Sun. Then he was threatened with a knife by 4 men who took his Rolex, which is said to be worth 25 grand. He actually explained this on a podcast called Baller Talk, where they go through what happened.
So it was birthday weekend.
Your birthday weekend?
Yeah. I'm not going to say anyone's name. I'd gone to my hotel to check in, to Cafe Royale. Then I went to Novikov to celebrate. And then from Novikov I went to Libertine. And to cut the story short, for the whole 2 days these people were following me in an Audi TT. So I went
Did you see them?
I didn't know.
Oh, you didn't
I was
know.
oblivious to this. I'm not thinking anyone's following me.
It's very common for the robbers of footballers or high-profile people to follow them for numerous days for various reasons. For one, they could wait for a perfect spot off camera to catch them off guard and try and rob them. And two, just to suss out their movements and what they actually do and where they can catch them. And because they know the prize at the end is going to be expensive, a 25 grand watch, they can invest days in following people.
So I've got to Libertine, enjoyed myself. I've gone back to the hotel around maybe like 4 in the morning, and then their car was parked out. They slept in their car for 7 hours.
Wow.
And then I'm making my way back to my ex's. She lives in Greenwich. And then I get to like Surrey Quays bit, you know, where the double barriers
Yeah,
are,
double barriers, yeah.
where you can,
Go that way.
yeah, where the train station is. I'm going through that. That's when I clocked. Because the whole time I was listening to Travis, innit? That's when I clocked.
Yeah.
And then he's hit I clocked, so I tried to go through quickly, and the car I could hit speed.
Quick. What car was it?
Don't worry.
This is around the area it would have happened. Very, very tight roads, which makes it easy for someone who's chasing someone to try to get in front of them and they got nowhere to go. And it's easy to also get caught up in the traffic and the barriers here.
I could hit speed to like get away, you know, because that was my plan, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So they clipped the back of my car on purpose, but I couldn't really see who was in the back of the car. It's all tinted out. So it's a bit naive for me to get out the car and check the back of the car. He was in like a grey tracksuit saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm sincere. Can we exchange numbers, insurance, all that bull crap?" And then I said, no, don't worry, because I thought this was a bit shady. This is broad daylight.
It's crazy because when people's instincts kick in like this, you're usually right. When someone's clipping your car in broad daylight and then acting innocent about it, but it seems like they did it on purpose. Also, people might say, why would they do that? Why don't they just pull up and rob him? Because if they act nice at first, the footballer can make themselves more vulnerable around that person, go back to the car and stuff, and make them easier to rob and just a smoother process when you catch them off guard.
I got to get back in my car, and this is something I suffer with still today, and this is years ago. I go to get back in my car, and the guys come up behind me so quickly and put a machete to my chest. And then I try, it was a bit of a tussle. I try to get out of this, but when you're in that phase, it's like, I'm trying to move so quick, but it's going so slow. And then this guy in the passenger had a balaclava and came out with a handgun and said, "Pass the watch over." I didn't even have no watch on. So I had to get it out of the glove compartment, give it to them, and then they let me go.
So they definitely knew that there was a watch lurking around, so they've done their homework basically.
It was just, defo was set up, I'll never know.
Stuff like this must build trust issues in footballers and having to move very smart because they can get robbed at any point and targeted. Over the years, there's been numerous stuff. I could make a part 2 if this hits 2,000 likes. Comment below what you guys think.